good morning, good morning. Welcome to the weather forecast. My name is Julie Godot. This is your elite weather forecast today, and we're going to talk about the forecast for your weekend. It is Friday morning, and I'm going to take you through your Sunday, so we're going to cover your whole weekend for you guys out there today. We're going to talk about some heat, as well as more severe weather for some parts of the nation this afternoon. And our city of the day is going to be the beautiful city of Duluth, Minnesota. Yes, that's right. Duluth is a beautiful city. As you can see, Lake Superior out there. There is our lift bridge. It's an iconic lift bridge that was built in 1908. So it is a historic landmark. It is functioning, and you can see the big ships and the ore ships come through there every day, especially about between 5 and 9 in the morning is when most of the ships come through. So if you're out there at Canal Park, I love to go to Canal Park and sit on the benches and just people watch. It's a great place to chill out, people watch, enjoy the lake, the nice cool temperatures. It's rarely hot up there in Duluth. It's got great restaurants, a lot of things to do up there. So if you're up there, you can go take a walk along the trail passes there at Canal Park, and also sit and people watch. Is a great place to do that. There's the views of the bridge, and a 1905 lift bridge. It was built 1905, not 08, and also it has the Park Point Sandbar where you can go and shop and things like that, and there, some condos or whatever. There's a lot of things to do over there. And the Great Lakes Aquarium, you can see pike and other kinds of big fish that are in the lakes up here in Minnesota, and the rivers and the trout and different things like that. Really pretty aquarium. Very interesting look to that aquarium. And also there's a train museum as well, so you can go check out some of the old trains that's there. And then the Glen Sheen Mansion. I think there's a murder story attached to that mansion as well. And that was a 1908 mansion that's on the lake shore. It's basically on the lake shore up there in Duluth. So Duluth is a pretty city. It's really cool to go to. So if you're ever in Minnesota and you go up I-35 up to the North Shore, please do me a favor and stop in Duluth. Oh, can I forget? The best place to eat in Duluth is this place called the Duluth Grill down on 21st Street, right off of 35. You go over there, man, it's so good. The food is good. They grow a lot of their own vegetables on the roof of the building, the building, and in the parking lot there's got gardens around and stuff like that. So they grow a lot of their own vegetables. Everything is local, fresh, organic. It's like all natural. Everything is, man, it's so good. So check out the Duluth Grill if you're ever in the area. So the weather in Duluth today is nice, 64 degrees out there this morning, under mostly sunny skies. Not much to worry about today. Not going to see any showers and storms, but we are going to talk about places that are currently seeing some showers and storms. There's even some severe weather in some locations out there as well. So let's hop on over and take a look at our national radar right now. And here we are looking at the national radar, and I want to show you this guy right here that's going on. We see this here through parts of Indiana and Illinois and Kentucky. This big area right here is a large area of thunderstorms that's moving through, and some of these storms are actually severe. So there is some actively severe warning storms through parts of Indiana, Illinois, and Kentucky as well. So that is going to be there for the next couple of hours. You guys are going to be dealing with this as that move off to the east. We have a lot of areas that's seeing some scattered to isolated storms here through parts of the desert Southwest and New Mexico. We're going to see these showers and storms work their way through Utah and Colorado, through parts of Idaho and Wyoming as well, even up there in Montana, Oregon and Washington. You might be seeing some of these showers. So some rain showers here in Portland that's going to be working this way north to Seattle as well. Those showers and maybe some isolated storms as well. Some more isolated weather here across the Northeast here through Maine, through parts of Massachusetts and Vermont and New Hampshire as well. We're seeing some more showers and some isolated thunderstorms for your your Friday morning out there. Oh, I don't want to take you guys back to Monday. We got to get through the weekend first. So that's just a little bit of the live action going on out there across America for your Friday morning. Now let's look at your weather today. All right, with your weather today, we are going to talk about the watches and warnings that's out there right now. And we do have this heat advisory in place right now through parts of the southeast and through the central plains here. We do have our heat advisory in place through here and along the southeastern seaboard into North Carolina. We have our heat advisory. We have a severe thunderstorm watch and warnings in this area right now through parts of Indiana and Illinois and northwestern Kentucky here. We're seeing those thunderstorms right now, and there is an active severe thunderstorm warning here near Evansville, Indiana. So you guys are currently dealing with that severe thunderstorm. And here we have our excessive heat advisory through the high plains here, through mainly Nebraska, parts of South Dakota, and western Iowa as well, and northeastern Kansas. We have our excessive heat advisory out there. And we have our red flag here through parts of Utah, Colorado, and Arizona and Nevada. So our heat advisory, and we also have our high wind watch and high wind warnings here through the northern plains and the northern Rockies there. We're going to be dealing with issues with wind issues and things like that over the next few hours here and into the evening hours. So that is a look at the watches and hazards that is taking place across America right now. And let's talk about that 7-day forecast for Duluth, Minnesota. All right, the beautiful city of Duluth going to have beautiful weather for this weekend. So we're going to see that temperature of 75 today under sunny skies. We'll see a few clouds there for your Saturday and Sunday, but still lovely weather, nice and cool out there for your Saturday, as we see that temperature of 60 degrees with that overnight low down near 48. 70 for your Sunday under partly cloudy skies. But the heat kind of kicks up a notch on Monday and Tuesday, as we see that Monday high reaches up to 90 degrees with that low of 70. We'll fall back to 83 on Tuesday under blazing hot sunshine. But come your Wednesday and Thursday, a few clouds are coming to the picture, and those temperatures fall back into the upper to middle 70s. So that is a look at your 7-day forecast for Duluth, Minnesota. And as we talk about what's going on the GFS and what we're seeing today, and today right now here's that area where we have this shortwave area here that's going to be producing that area of severe thunderstorms here through Illinois and into Indiana and parts of Kentucky as well. We'll see those scattered showers possibly develop over into parts of Iowa and Missouri, and we have our few showers here through the Northeast. Is another area where we have a very slight risk for seeing some severe weather, and some severe weather is also possible in this region this afternoon. And as we look out toward the west, mostly clear skies here. A lot of dry weather through the Plain States down into Texas. Not a whole lot of going on. We got some high pressure that's going to build in today. So not much as far as weather is going on out west, since most of the action is right about here across the center of the nation. And as we take a look at your Saturday, here's what we're going to be seeing. This area of high pressure here over the Great Lakes is going to really influence the entire eastern half of the nation as we move into next week. And this return flow here, so we have these isobars going in this direction. That's that. And then we have an area of low pressure to the west here, and this combined flow here of this clockwise here, this counterclockwise here around the high pressure with our clockwise flow around our area of high pressure right here. here is going to make a very powerful southerly flow as these two entities combine together. So we're going to see what we call a return flow. So that return flow is going to build up a whole lot of heat through the central plain states and through parts of the Mississippi Valley over this weekend, as we could see some triple digit readings through this part of the country over this weekend. So that's a look at what we're going to be seeing out there for your Saturday. And for your Sunday, here is that area of high pressure really influencing the weather out here. As you can see those isobars, this area of low pressure just off into New Brunswick and the northeast here is also going to be pulling down cooler air here out of Canada. So you're going to see nice, comfortable conditions for your Sunday here across the northeast and through parts of the Great Lakes. We're going to see some of those dew points suppressed down here to the Gulf Coast. We're going to see lower dew points and a few degrees shaved off of those temperatures, but we're still going to see temperatures in the lower 90s here across the Gulf Coast, and we're going to see that return flow here from the south to the northwest, to the northeast here. Maybe a few thunderstorms might be along the periphery of this high pressure. So if anybody sees an isolated thunderstorm, it's because you are under the periphery or on the edges of that area of high pressure. So it's going to be just enough of instability there allowed to create some isolated pulse thunderstorms. So you might see an isolated thunderstorm through parts of Oklahoma, maybe Texas, and along the Gulf Coast, and in the desert Southwest this weekend. You might see some isolated thunderstorms in the mountains over the Wasatch Range and through parts of Colorado, here near Glenwood Springs and Durango and stuff. It might be a few scattered showers, but for the most part, most of the precipitation is going to be isolated to widely scattered this weekend. We're not going to see any organized severe weather outbreaks. You can have some isolated severe cases out there, but it's not going to be an organized tornado event or anything like that. It's going to be a pretty benign weekend out there for most of you folks. And just to show you what I'm talking about, here's our dew points for the weekend. Here's your dew points for Friday. And as you can see, through the mid-south here, down to the Gulf Coast and through Florida, in some cases you see 70+ degree dew points, and this is the amount of moisture in the air, and this is the moisture how much the percentage of saturation in the air is. So these warm temperatures can hold a lot of moisture. So what this 71 here means is that temperature, the atmosphere is 71% to the point of saturation to where it can't hold any more air, and then you'll see dense fog or anything like or something like that. If you're going to see severe thunderstorms, higher dew points is what you need here, especially as we move into the summer months. The dew points kind of typically coincide with the Cape and the Sand and other severe weather parameters. So whenever I deal with severe weather in the summer months, the first thing I look at is the dew points. What are the dew points? Because that tells me exactly how much moisture is in the air, and you compare that to your temperatures. If you have 90 and 100 degree temperatures, dew points this high, that's a lot of juice in the air and a lot of fuel for severe thunderstorms. But since we don't really have a kicker this weekend, even though we have all these dew points here, we're not going to see a whole lot in the way of severe weather, except right here we see in our severe storms right now and our chance for severe weather this afternoon to this region and also here through the northwest. But that's going to be primarily because we have a trigger in place. There's a frontal boundary nearby that can be a focus for support for developing those severe thunderstorms this afternoon. And as we look at our Saturday, now you can see a lot of that dew point is gone here through the Ohio Valley, the Tennessee Valley, in the mid-south here. We see those dew points are falling back into the 40s to near 50s, all the way halfway through Georgia and through Alabama and Mississippi here. We're starting to see those dew points fall below the 60s. That 60 degree range, I think, is that threshold for that severe weather. And when you see those dew points go below 60 into the 50s and 40s, that's a lot more comfortable air to deal with, a lot less humidity, even if it's going to still be pretty warm here along the Gulf Coast. But for many of you, the humidity is going to go down. It's going to feel a lot more comfortable. But as we can see here, this kind of like tongue here of higher dew points is on the return flow, because that area of high pressure is here, and that clockwise flow around that area of high pressure is kind of pulling that higher dew points and warmer air through the central plains in combination with an area of low pressure here. And on this side of the low, the air current goes in the same direction from the south to the north. So you kind of get these two entities working together to draw in that heat and humidity. So we're going to see those hot temperatures and higher dew points through the central plains. But we're not going to see any big thunderstorm outbreaks because we don't have a kicker in place, really strong, a strong area of low pressure to be the focus for some of those severe thunderstorms. But an isolated storm is not out of the question either. So some of you going to be dry for the most part, but a couple places might pick up a stray storm or two that can break through that cap. And any time a storm can break through the cap, it typically tends to be severe because it takes a lot of energy and force to get through that cap. All right, here we're going to see, here is your Sunday dew point. So as you can see, that dew points got even that line for those heavy dew points dipped even further south to right along the Gulf Coast, and we're going to see those dew points in the 50s all the way through Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, the Carolinas. Very comfortable dew points all the way into through the entire Mississippi Valley up until Minnesota is when you'll start to see stronger, higher dew points again, as that is kind of making its way. You get we have a cold front here. And then this section where that return flow is, that cold front is going this direction, so it's moving this way as a warm front on this end. So this end is going south, this end is going back to the north and east, so it's becoming a warm front, and we have a cold front here, even though it's the same boundary. It just depends on what end of the boundary you're on and what's the primary direction that boundary is moving. So on this side, because it's moving south and the warm air is here, cooler air is there, it's a cold front. And on this side, our warmer air is here, cooler air is there, and it's going this way, so we got us a warm front. So that is the dynamics that we're going to be working with this weekend as far as our weather is concerned, and those ingredients for that lovely weekend that many of you folks in the Northeast and the East Coast and the Great Lakes area is going to experience this weekend. A very lovely weekend. Here's our national forecast, even though we covered a lot of it already. All right, here we go with our forecast. It's going to be quick because we covered a lot of those details. Our severe weather is going to be here, and again, possibly here. Maybe a round of severe storms in the Northeast and more concentrated severe storms that's currently here that's going to be moving here, and they're going to blossom a little bit. Large hail and damaging wind is going to be the primary threat. I don't expect too many tornadoes. 1 or 2 tornadoes is not out of the question, but I don't expect a whole gaggle of tornadoes to break out here. And we're going to see some isolated severe here along the Gulf Coast and through parts of the South and the Appalachians and in the Northeast as well. But again, focus. Most of this is isolated. Not a whole lot going on out there. It's isolated storms rotating around the periphery of that big ridge of high pressure that's here, that's going to dominate this weekend's weather across the eastern half of the nation. So we'll have a troughing here and a troughing here and a big ridge of high pressure here in the center of the nation that's going to dominate the weather pattern through this weekend and into early next week. Those thunderstorms here through the desert Southwest and the Intermountain West, high elevated thunderstorms, widely scattered to isolated. Not a whole lot there to worry about. Not going to be a whole lot of rainfall. If you see some rainfall, that will be very welcome, but it will be high elevation in the mountains and widely scattered to isolated. Okay, here we are for your Saturday forecast. Again, as we can see, here's our cold front, right? That cold front coming down to the south, bringing that cooler air from the north, cooler, drier air down from Canada, here's our warm end of that front that's going this way. So that warm air, humidity, and heat is advancing to the east, while this is going cold because we have that big ridge of high pressure that's going to be centered right about here. So it's going to pump in that cooler air from here. So it's going to dry things out there along the eastern seaboard and the mid-Atlantic and the Ohio Valley, the Midwest, and the lower Mississippi Valley. And because we have that return flow on this side with a combination with these frontal boundaries here and things pretty much going from south to north, we're going to be seeing those isolated showers and storms and just enough dew points to kick off some storms in the higher elevation and in the mountains here across the southwest and the intermountain west for your Saturday. Again, you see the pattern that we got going on here, all right? You see that pattern. Here again, check this out. See that? See that front? It's going this way, okay? That's our warm air advancing. You see this here? Our cold air. It's going from the north to the south. It's all the way down to the Gulf Coast by your Sunday. So that those dew points way down. Those temperatures, you're only getting a few degrees. I'm only be able to give you maybe 5 to 10 degrees for the most part as far as the temperature drop down here along the Gulf Coast. Much more substantial drop in the temperatures, maybe 20 degrees cooler through the Ohio Valley and through the upper Mississippi Valley and around the Great Lakes. And the Northeast is going to be beautiful this weekend. Very, very comfortable as far as the humidity and the temperatures are concerned for your Sunday. Very nice out there. And again, with that same pattern, those mountain and desert thunderstorms out here in the southwest and the intermountain west out there. So that is a look at our national weather forecast, and let's talk about those temperatures. And the temperatures is really, I think, it's the most important part of the forecast because you will be able to see what I'm talking about again here. So we see what we're seeing out there today. Nice conditions in the northeast and across the northern plains and the Great Lakes up here. We're seeing very nice weather. Temperatures in the 80s. Yeah, the humidity is so-so. It's going on its way down. We're losing a lot of that humidity. Still warm today, but as you take a look at your Saturday, you see how things cooled. Now we're in the 70s. You see 60s in the northeast, 70s here across the Great Lakes and the upper Midwest. So, and through the Corn Belt there, we're starting to see cooler temperatures, but we're still seeing that heat here along the deep south and the Gulf Coast. So we're still seeing those temperatures 100 degrees in the upper 90s and everything like that. And even over into Texas, a couple 100. So it's still high, and we're seeing that heat rise up through the Central Plains. So if you're in Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, we're seeing temperatures making almost 95 degrees up here in Minot, North Dakota. We're also seeing a 100 degrees near Rapid City, South Dakota, 99 here in Wichita, Kansas. We got Wichita, Kansas at 95. We're seeing that it is 96 degrees over there in Omaha, Nebraska. We're seeing those temperatures in the triple digits throughout the Central Plains states here. So we're seeing that heat really build in, and we're seeing how temperatures will fall back here across the desert southwest tomorrow as well. Only 101 in Phoenix, 97 in Tucson, and that's because of the increased moisture and cloud cover. Now, one thing about having a lot of moisture in the air, moisture kind of prevents a lot of mixing. If you got a little bit of moisture in the air, your temperatures don't rise and fall as fast. So this is why when you go, if you went to Miami, the daytime high probably don't differ from your overnight low by more than 10 degrees. It could be 80 in the day and 70 at night. That's because the air has a lot more humidity and moisture, and it doesn't allow for those temperatures to rise and fall. If you go to, like, say, Vegas, it could be 90 during the day, but in the 40s at night. That's because the dry air allows for the temperature variances to be much greater. That mixing is a lot stronger in that boundary layer. So you see those temperatures fluctuation from Daytime to nighttime can be as much as 50 degrees in the deserts because of that lack of humidity. So that's what we're seeing, that little bit more humidity in the air here as we're getting that flow here off of Baja California and the Pacific. So this source of moisture is coming off of the Pacific, and a little bit of it is coming off of the Gulf of Mexico because it's getting swirled around that area of high pressure and pumped north through the central Rockies and the Plain States. So you get a real meteorology lesson in this weather forecast, because this is a very different pattern than what we've been dealing with over the last few weeks or so. Here we are for your Sunday, and on your Sunday we are going to talk about this. We're seeing that temperatures a lot cooler here. We're seeing those 80s out here, but we're starting to see how it's warming up in Minnesota, and see on Sunday 96 degrees there in Minneapolis, because that warm air is starting to come from the southwest here, because it's circulating around that ridge of high pressure that's hanging out over here over the Great Lakes. And it's starting to, that return flow here is really pumping in that very hot moisture there. So that hot air, and it's a lot higher dew points. But we're not going to see a whole lot in the way of thunderstorms to cool us off. Just isolated storm might be possible over in the forecast there by your Sunday. But for the most part, don't expect it. Just expect it to be dry weather. Plan on a dry weekend, and there's only an outside chance of a thunderstorm this weekend in most locations. If you see thunderstorms on the map, don't worry about it. It won't be that much. Okay, so as we talk about our severe weather threat right now, not a whole lot to deal with. We do have this big area today. Today will be the last day for a while for any organized severe weather outbreaks. So we do have our slight risk for severe weather here. And you got Charlotte, Nashville, Virginia Beach, Atlanta, and Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina. You guys are in the yellow today for that severe weather. And in the dark green, New York, Philadelphia, Boston, Cincinnati, and Newark, New Jersey. So the big cities here are in that marginal risk for that severe weather this afternoon, and that is only some winds in excess of 58 miles per hour and some pea to nickel size hail. So very small hail and marginal damaging winds speeds out there as well. Maybe a little bit more scattered to numerous storms here, slightly more intense storms, and a greater risk for a tornado in the yellow region here. All right, so here we are for your Saturday. Only this is here. Don't worry about it too much, because it's just storms just might be strong enough to be marginally severe. Not a whole lot. Again, not a whole lot is to be expected here. And we're talking down in Tampa, Orlando, Shreveport, Jackson, Mississippi, and Spring Hill, Florida. So you guys are only going to be dealing with a marginal threat for severe weather, and that is maybe some pea-sized hail, a 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, no tornadoes or nothing like that, no excessive rainfall, very scattered to isolated, not a whole lot to worry about. Again, isolated storms through the mountains and the deserts here, and then to the Pacific Northwest, the Northern Rockies, and the Upper Midwest here. It's only isolated, not a whole lot to talk about. If you see a storm, you're lucky. If you see a storm this weekend, you were one of the lucky ones. But if you don't, enjoy your weekend, and thanks for watching. All right, so here we go as we talk about Sunday. Look at this. Check this out. When was the last time you saw one of my maps with no severe weather? No severe weather expected this weekend. Very nice weekend on tap. Just isolated. It's a large area. This huge area of high pressure is pumping in some tropical moisture here through the Rockies and the plains, but it's very scattered, elevated in nature, because there's some moisture aloft, but it's not a lot of moisture down at the surface. So we're going to see elevated thunderstorms, not a lot of rainfall. Many areas the rainfall is not going to reach the surface. So, you know, the problem you may have is like fires caused by dry lightning. You might see some gusty winds from some of those thunderstorms as well. So that was a look at our severe weather outlook. Here's our tropical weather outlook. And we got this invest here in the here near Nicaragua and El Salvador. This guy here is probably not going to develop because it is moving toward the Yucatan Peninsula. So it's probably going to move on land before it develops further. But what we will see is heavy rainfall. So this unorganized area of low pressure here is going to produce a lot of rainfall down there in southern Mexico and Central America. Here we are with Blas. Blas is running off towards the northwest here. It's a Category 1 hurricane with 85-mile-an-hour winds. And then we got Tropical Depression 3E here. This will be our next tropical storm. Probably will be a tropical storm by tomorrow. And it's pretty much going to follow in Blas's footsteps. Here's a look at Blas's coordinates right now. Here's where it's currently coordinated. Here's its evolution. It's going to be a hurricane until tomorrow at 12 a.m. till tomorrow morning at 12. So overnight tonight it's going to drop down to a tropical storm. Going to be in a tropical storm status to about 12 p.m. on Saturday. It's going to move very quickly out to the west here and eventually become a tropical depression and move out into cooler waters out there in the open Pacific. Here again is that tropical depression. Here's where it's going to be. Not going to achieve hurricane status as of right now, and it's going to move out to the west here, pretty much follow into Blas's footsteps and move on off to the west here and become a tropical storm and nothing more than that. And the only thing that's really going to do is increase the swells here along the Mexican coast and the coast of Southern California and Baja. So if you're enjoy surfing, you're going to have some nice swells from that. But if you're fishing, your water might be kind of choppy. I used to go ocean fishing with my dad down here in Mexico and off the coast of Baja and La Paz and Ensenada. And if you had a tropical storm out over the waters, it would increase the sail. The surf, the swells would get kind of high, so your boat is going to be a little bit rocky out there because of these two tropical systems. But other than that, the only other issue is going to be concerns for shipping interests and the big cargo ships out there. So that is a look at the weather forecast for this weekend. So overall, a really nice weekend, much improved weather conditions in the east. Lower humidities, slightly lower temperatures, a lot less storms to deal with. We'll see a little bit higher humidity through the Central Plains and parts of the far western side of the Midwest up into like northern Minnesota or something like that, and up to the Canadian borders, where those triple-digit temperatures can reach up there, especially on Monday. I think Monday is going to be the hotter day of the next 4 days, but we're going to definitely see things warm up through the Central Plains and the Midwest as we get into your Sunday. But only if you see a storm, you are one of the lucky few. Very widely scattered and isolated thunderstorm activity to be expected this weekend. No severe weather, no outbreaks of any kind, but just a little hot and humid, but a lot more comfortable down in the East Coast and down along the Gulf Coast there. So enjoy your weekend. I will see you guys on Monday with the next weather forecast. I think I'm going to chill this weekend. Since there's not a whole lot to talk about with this weather, I don't expect any significant changes or anything like that. So I'll see you guys all on Monday. Have a good weekend, and I will see you in the next weather forecast. Oh, leave your likes, your comments, and subscribe to the channel. Bye-bye.